Coach, first of all, how excited are you to finally step into the court here as a head coach here for Ferris State?
It's been a little bit coming. So I was lucky enough that, in May and June, when this is all kind of that dream come true, they have a chance to come back here to now have to wait all the way until January. We've kind of needed that time to get better as a team, but it's going to be kind of surreal when that ball goes in the air on Friday.
I know it's been obviously a tough fall in terms of getting ready to play and all the preparations that you've had to go through, the protocols with COVID-19. Maybe how have the kids kind of reacted to all of that?
They've been really resilient. They've really kind of taken everything in stride. I think part of that comes from how they've had to overcome this ever since March. So overcoming it in March, having to kind of work through the summer, getting here in the fall, just adjusting to different protocols and different things that we had to do. I feel like we kind of really took everything in stride and kind of like Mallory was able to say, stay positive. Stay positive, focus on what we get to do and not what we don't get to do. So they've really taken it in stride, been able to move forward, and we've really improved a ton since we got on campus in August.
Coming back off the holiday break, how the practice has been leading up to this conference opener?
Definitely been able to step it up a notch. Before break, we kind of had a little bit of a pause. We've been dealing with quite a few injuries. So luckily, once we got back from Christmas, we started to get a few more healthy bodies back, which has made it a lot better. We've been able to kind of shift our practices to be a little bit more physical than we were before Christmas when we were kind of dealing with some low numbers and just learning. We got a team that's learning a brand new system. So now when we're finally having a chance to implement it, that physicality kind of takes us to another level of what we see we have to be good at.
Obviously, in Ashland, you've got a program that's been right there at the top of the GLIAC. What do they do so well, and what do you expect out of them here this weekend with some new faces, obviously, and certainly quite a bit about them?
They're just such a disciplined team, and they're very efficient on offense. A lot of teams that score a lot of points, they kind of play reckless and go up and down the court real fast and make a lot of mistakes. Ashland doesn't make a lot of mistakes. So they space the floor great. They have two returning post players that are really solid, as well as a sharpshooter in number 10, Heidemann, getting to know all the players. But they do just a great job of not beating themselves, putting themselves in some really good places. The fact that they have, I think, 6 freshmen and only a few returning players, they still have that tradition there, and we're still the underdog trying to go in there and knock them off.
Obviously, your kids here in year number 1, you have had a few months here to kind of adjust to you and your style. Maybe what's been their attitude and their approach here with a new head coach and a new coaching staff?
Well, they've really been sponges. When I'm talking in practice, I'm not having any problems with people kind of looking all over the place. It's real good eye contact. They're asking lots of great questions. And we're kind of getting to the point now in the year where we're starting to kind of see some of the results of the things that we've been working on for the past few months. We're starting to try to find our identity a little bit more as a team. Part of that's me learning them as well as them learning me, and just seeing what I need to do to put them in the best positions for them to be successful.
I think the last time you were here on the Bulldogs staff, the last game you played was at Ashland in the NCAA tournament. Maybe what's the irony in that, coming back and having your first game down at Ashland?
So I hope it's like the first game in the NCAA tournament down there where we took care of Drury pretty good, and not the second game where we dropped it to Parkside. So lots of vivid memories in that gym, so it kind of will be that full circle experience again. But more so than that, just looking forward to what these girls get to do. So they get the chance to get on the court and play, and win, lose, draw, overtime, whatever happens. Like, we get a chance to go out there and compete, get a chance to get better. Obviously we have high expectations for ourselves, but just having a chance to be on the court and playing the game again, that's going to be a win for everybody.
What will be some keys, and what are you hoping to see out of your team here this weekend?
Well, first of all, defensively, we're going to have to be disciplined. So Ashland being that high-powered team from last year, they were scoring in the high 80s, almost in the 90s on a consistent basis. We're going to have to be very disciplined defensively. We know we're not going to stop them and hold them like down in the 50s. That's probably not going to happen, but we have to be really disciplined and make them earn every basket they get. They can't be getting buckets because of mistakes that we make. They have to make baskets based on them making really good plays. And then offensively, we just got to keep finding our rhythm. That's going to be big for us with all of our new faces that we're trying to get mixed in here, is having them learn their chemistry of how we're playing with each other and really getting in a good rhythm where, we talk with Mallory. She's going to be that kind of that driver of the offense, kind of helping us push the tempo and being aggressive. But then a lot of the new faces are going to have a lot of pressure on them to have opportunities. They're going to have chances to score, and we need some of those new faces to really step up.
I know finally here you're focused on game 1, but how different is it going to be playing back-to-back days, I guess, against the same opponent?
we won't know until we kind of get in there and do it. So we have our plans all made of how we're going to make our adjustments. How you're preparing for the game is a little bit different because you're not preparing for just 40 minutes, you're preparing for 80 minutes. So you have to have a little bit more at your disposal because when you make adjustments, you have to be able to make those adjustments quickly. You don't have a couple weeks to study the film and kind of have a few practices to put in those adjustments. You have to be more prepared when you go into this first game than you probably would be in general, but we kind of have taken that football mindset. You know, we do our scout a little bit earlier in the week. We prepare for that team all week long. You know, this first weekend's a little bit unique because, you know, you're going up against a team that only really returns 3 or 5 players that saw significant minutes last year. So there's a lot of things that we don't know the first weekend, but it's gonna be the exact same thing for Ashland. They don't know anything about us. You know, they know a little bit of our personnel, but they don't know the style that we're trying to play. So as we get going into the year, I think all the teams we're gonna kind of learn and adjust based on, you know, what happens this first weekend, and we'll keep making those adjustments as coaches so that we can be prepared for 80 minutes every weekend, not just 40.
Mallory, how excited are you, first of all, just to get the season rolling here this weekend at Ashland?
Oh, I'm very excited. I'm excited to pick up right where we left off last year, and we got a great group, so I'm very excited.
Obviously, it's a big challenge taking on one of the programs that's been right at the top of the GLIAC here for the past few years.
Yeah, Ashland, I mean, they're known. They're a great team, one of the best in the country, but I'm excited to open up with a big test for us and see how we do against them.
What's the attitude been like of you and your teammates coming in, obviously, during this difficult year, and I know the opportunity maybe to finally step on the floor here this week?
Yeah, just trying to stay as positive as possible. I mean, focusing every day. We get to be in here, we get to get better every day, so not really letting the outside noise affect us and more just get better every day.
What's the practices been like since you came back from the holiday break?
Very intense. We're getting after, we're competitive, everyone's competing every day, so they're a lot of fun. I mean, it's fun competing.
Obviously, a new coach and Coach Westendorp this year. What's the adjustment been like, I guess, in terms of the players and adjusting to his style and what he expects?
Yeah, very different, but in a great way. I obviously not a lot. We lost 5 girls. We're very young this year, but it's going to be a great year, and we're very excited with this whole new coaching staff.
Now, obviously, Ashland lost a lot of players as well, but a program that obviously reloads each and every year. You know they're going to be a big challenge here this weekend.
Yeah, they're a powerhouse, so no matter who they bring in, and it's going to be a tough one, but I'm excited for the battle, and I know all of us are really excited to go after them.
What's it going to take to go down there and hopefully get a couple wins here this weekend?
Yeah, we're going to have to be very disciplined and can't make mistakes against them. So just got to play our game and don't let them dictate what we do.